Kelly has had anybody brought up the availability of TinyTeX, which is pretty neat. That is something that was produced for the R community, and I've talked about it elsewhere as I'm not sure on what setting. Yes, that's a very important point, which is we don't know what the dependencies are of any particular document until we find that we don't have the file we need. So managing dependencies and producing a installation of TeX that is adequate for the document that you're dealing with is a problem that we haven't solved. And I think that would make the size of LaTeX a lot easier. The current tendency is to install everything to make sure that you're not missing something. And something I'm very keen on is what's called serverless programming. And there you've got something like 40 megabytes or so, and that's your whole app. The whole app has to fit in 40 megabytes. And if you know what you need, that's fine. And if you don't, you don't. So yes, TinyTeX is very useful and interesting. And it's also, I think, very interesting because it came out of the R community, which said, some person whose name I've forgotten in the R community said, well, we need this for the R journal and for other purposes, so make it. And that makes it a lot easier to make TeX an add-on to another system. And I think that's a large part of its future, is that TeX should be something that can go anywhere. It doesn't have to be something that requires a lot of, yes, RStudio. So
Jim, could I interject a question here?
Yes.
Sure. Now that at least on laptops and larger multi-core processors tend to be pretty much the norm today, and probably will reach mobile phones, does Elm have any ability to take advantage of it? And if it does, could you in fact use it?
I can answer that.
I don't believe it does at the moment. The reason is, yeah, go ahead, Jonathan.
Okay, JavaScript has the ability to do it, and therefore Elm has the ability to do it. The way it does it is what are called workers, web workers, and you say from your main process, do this computation and give me the result when it comes back. And it comes back at a random time, and it's just another event that's mixed in with all the other random events, including stuff being loaded and the user pressing a button. And in that way, the main process has access to multiple processes. So if you can send a large computation off to a worker, it will run in the background and not delay the main process. And you can send off several workers. I think that deals with that question. So you could send a document off to be rendered internally without it slowing down the main process, because they're running on different cores. Does that fit in with your understanding, Jim? It's really a JavaScript.
I think that's correct. I mean, so far I haven't. Yeah, it compiles to JavaScript, although in the future it will also compile to WebAssembly, which will perhaps offer additional advantages. At the moment, the compiler is so fast that there's really no need to do that.